You can almost tell a person's future based off their friends.
Yes.
You can almost tell a person's future based off their friends, because the association of who they're with, who they value to spend their time with, really tells a lot about who the person is, where their goals are, and where they want to go in life. Welcome back to The Mind Composition. My name is Bryan, and I'm in Michigan. From a very exciting weekend, I decided to do a podcast with my business partner, best friend, sister, you name it. Her name is Miss Breanna Bates. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you, Bryan?
Pretty well. I mean, I fly back in 3 hours. I'm going to miss you. This is like a last minute podcast, and like, I know we wanted to do it like in St. Louis, all dressed up and everything, but you know, this'll do for now in your backyard. So,
That's true.
To get right into it, we're going to be talking about the lessons behind friendships. Now, me and Breanna, actually, we have a very interesting friendship. And a very, like, we didn't meet your typical way. So like, how do you want to explain it, or do you want me to explain it?
I mean, I think it's more of, I'll explain it because it was mostly, I messaged you, on Instagram, but today I would say we're social media based in general, right?
Yeah.
But it's more of like, it's just, in my personal opinion, going forth in my life, I met the best people through social media. Those are the connections that, like, people not just around in my area in Michigan that I've had the best relationships with, whether if that be friendship, relationship wise, it's just a different connection, but it's not even like you've known each other for so long. So many people think, well, I have a better relationship with that person because I've known them for 15 years. No, you can meet somebody the next day and really connect on a deeper level, like me and you, where, God just had that plan where some way, somehow, he connects the people that you're supposed to be connected with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I remember the day I got your message on Instagram, and it was like, I didn't know who you were. You had 20-something thousand followers. I'm like, okay, so she must be something, and it was 2 letters. You just messaged me hi. Not even what's up, not even what you wanted. You just said hi. And usually, like, I get like 5 to 10 DMs a day, and I go and sort them out, and I, for shoots and everything. And I was just like, who is this girl? So I actually looked over yours, and I didn't really immediately respond yet. I was like debating, like, if I click decline or just, didn't message you back. That if I did that, actually, none of the past 9 months in business, in friendships, in mindset would have happened, and that would have been the worst split second of my life if I would have pressed decline or not even responded. So I got your message and you said hi, so I said hi back, and then we just started talking again. We started talking business at first, and then photography at first, and then we became business partners, but then we became like best friends, like brother and sister relationship. And it was life-changing, because honestly, in my life now, like, you are like one of my really top closest friends. Like, I can call you on anything. We talk every single day. We FaceTime every single morning. We're growing each other's mindset in business to be successful together and to also have a strong relationship together. And we just have that vibe. So like, meeting you like in person when I flew out to Detroit for the first time in January, that was insane. So like, I don't know, not many people meet like that anymore. And like, I know it happened through like social media, but like, there's 2 things that happen in friendships. 2 things. Either people come into your life for either a blessing or a lesson, and you got to choose which one is it going to be, because people are going to leave your life. Everybody listening to this, and you and me, have experienced people that have come in, served a great purpose, and then they left. So like, for example, when I started photography, probably like the whole reason why you even like saw my work, I was friends with this guy who first got me into photography, and he came into my life. He was like a brother to me, and then he left my life. And he's just like, now it's like, but what was the lesson from that? So like, what's your take on that? Like, the blessing versus the lesson in a friendship?
Well, I think too, I mean, we got to look at higher power here. I finally realized that, especially, I mean, if I look back when I was like 19, 20 to where I'm 25 now, it's more of, I wanted to be friends with everybody.
Yeah.
You can't be friends with everybody.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not only that, like relationships, I mean, if we were friends with everybody, I mean, we're not all the same. We all come differently. We all have different stories, so it's like, we have to have people that come in and shape us into the way that God wants us to form. You know what I'm saying? Especially at our time and in our season in our lives. So it's like, there's always a start, but sometimes there's an end. But sometimes it could start, you have a friendship that ends for only like a few months, you reconnect. But it could be because that person's not going to take you to the level of where God wants you to be at that very moment.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And like, I'm a huge believer in, everything happens for a reason. God's going to place certain people in your life to connect with, to help you grow. And that'll happen, you know, sometimes honestly, like it's kind of scary to even think of this, but we may not even know our best friends in 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Like I know for a fact you and me, you know,
Oh,
just because
yeah.
of what we're
Yeah.
doing outside of our friendship, that's lifetime,
Yeah.
100%. So I have no doubt in my mind. But like some of the people I'm friends with now, I'm like, am I even going to be friends with you? Am I even going to be talking to you in 2 years? Like,
Yeah.
what's going to happen? And it's just kind of a scary thought. Like, you know, people come in, they make an impact, and then they leave. And that's just, it starts off, you know, somehow really good. You click, and then it just ends. Usually, it ends in some sort of drama, or
Yeah.
you know, the door just closes. And you know, biblically, I reference, I'm like, well, God's gonna close a door that no man can open, and
Yeah.
He's gonna open a door that no man can close. So if someone's leaving your life, if it's God's will, let it happen, because He's gonna pull someone out of your life that could either destroy your life,
Yeah.
and to allow room for somebody else to come in to take you on to the next level. Does that make sense?
No, no, that's very true. I mean, I've seen it forth, especially, you know, I can vouch, like, I lost a best friend of like 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
You know, she was with a guy, she wanted to marry him, you know, and she was asking me for basically my permission, but technically telling me, and I told her I didn't want her to marry him. And, you know, she ended the friendship over that. And that was deep. But at the same time, like looking back on it now, I was very hurt for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? Because I looked at how many years of time and effort and, you know, just
Yeah.
the verbiage of, oh, I'm going to be there with you forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be my maid of honor, things like that. And
The word forever.
yeah, like it, and now it just like ended. And at that timing, I just honestly didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know, but that comes with maturity too, that I should have looked at it like, if I had to be honest, I look at my life and where it's going now, like, she's not going down the same path. You know, like, and it's not trying to be like that. I mean, to go deeper into it, like, I don't want to live average. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that average relationship. I don't want those average friendships.
Exactly.
So, like, I have to go around people that want to evolve and change all the time for the better, not for the worse.
Yeah, so you need to surround yourself around people that are extremely successful. So one thing that my dad taught me growing up is always be, you know, I guess you want to say not the dumbest person in the room, but always be the most, you know, eager to learn person in the room. Surround yourself by people that are smarter than you, richer than you, successful than you, more
Yeah.
successful, because you're automatically going to become like those people when you associate with them. It's the same exact thing when you surround yourself around your beer drinking buddies,
Yep.
you know, or your loser friends from high school that are going nowhere with their life. Well, guess what? Your life tendencies over time are going to start to shift towards their lifestyle, which is average, you know, getting into trouble, delinquents, degenerates, that kind of stuff. It's like you got to really choose, be very picky, very picky. And honestly, like I've seen it so many times where people, honestly, they're smart, they're sharp, and then they get in with the wrong crowd, and then they just throw their life away.
Yep.
And it almost comes down to it where like you could almost judge, not really judge, I don't want to use that word, but you can almost tell a person's future based off their friends.
Yes.
You could almost tell a person's future
Association,
based off their friends,
yes.
because the association of who they're with, who they value to spend their time with,
Yep.
really tells a lot about who the person is, where their goals are, and where they want to go in life.
No, wait, I mean, that was just, right there, you hit it right on the dot. You know what
Honestly,
I'm saying?
like-
Because it's association, friendships. When you look at, like, the 5 people that you hang around, even let's say it's 3, because the older that we get, we don't have as many friends, right?
Yeah.
But they're influencing you no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's depending on how they're brought up, where they're going now, and it's depending on, are your goals matching up with theirs?
Yeah. And those change over time. You know, I've seen it where, you know, you might want to do one thing. Like I wanted to be an engineer when I was in college.
That's true.
You know, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be this, you know, great big engineer. And I still will find a way to incorporate tech engineering, because that's just
Yeah.
who I am. Like I always love building stuff,
Yeah.
inventing things, and just working on stuff in the tech field. And that'll always be a part of my life. But I don't think I'm ever going to be like some huge, you know, 9 to 5 engineer
Yeah.
working for that 50 years or whatever. But I would used to surround myself around those tech nerdy friends. And then I got into the photography, you know, into creative industry. And now I started surrounding myself around those creative friends. And
Yeah.
so it's like, would I have the same results if I was trying to chase photography, still surrounding myself
Yeah.
around engineering? No.
No.
So it's like, when you want to be successful and you don't want to live average, you need to be picky about who you're surrounding yourself by. And like, unfortunately, like as much as you may care about the person that you're friends with now,
Yep.
if their goals and their visions, and this goes for everything, not just
Yeah.
friendships, relationships,
Relationships.
boyfriends and girlfriends,
Yeah.
if you surround yourself by people that are not aligning up with your visions and your goals, I don't care how well you get along with the person, it's not going to work.
No.
It's just not going to work. And it's sad, but you know what? Like, keep at arm's length with those people, but don't let them into your inner circle and have big of impact on your life, because it's just not going to work out well for you. In that case, you have to be selfish.
Yeah.
You have to put yourself
Yep.
first in that case. So, you know, like, you know, you're 26 years old, or about to be 26,
Yeah.
and I'm only 22, only 4 years behind you. So like you've lived a little bit more like
Yeah.
experience than I have like in the friendship world. Like who has been like some of the greatest friends in your life that has impacted you to who you are now?
I mean, that's deep. I mean, especially to really think about it, because I'm going to be honest, within the past year, you know, a lot has changed,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but like I said, we're always changing and evolving. It's, you know, I made a flip where I was going down one path, knew where I wanted to go, wasn't
Yeah.
around the right association. Then God got me connected to the right association. You know what I'm saying? So the friendships that I have now, it's not just friendships.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's bigger than that. It's they have the same vision, goals, and ambitions that I want. And not only that, like, those relationships I'm going to carry on the older that I get. You know, like, those are the people that I trust more, because I'm building that
Exactly.
trust over time. Like, look at me and you.
Yeah.
I mean, now we've been friends for almost probably going on a year now.
Yeah, going on a year.
You know, and like, we built trust because we didn't, you know, we put time and effort. Relationships take time and effort.
Yeah.
It's not that we're dating or it's a relationship, but friendships are relationships in general.
Basically,
you know?
a relationship is a friendship or a best friendship with romantic and chemistry added on. That's basically
Yeah.
the whole difference. So a friendship is the foundation of everything.
Yes.
And I talked about this in a podcast before. Actually, the last one I did with my friend Jesse is a friendship or a relationship has to have a friendship first. Otherwise,
Yes.
it's going to fail. And people build
Yes.
their relationship off of the physical attractions first, which is horrible, you know. And then
Yeah,
the
it
friends with
doesn't.
benefits thing, don't even get me started on what the hell that is.
That
Like
is.
that's just like like come on, seriously, like you're already intertwining spiritual connections together, chemistry. You're
Yes.
just completely messing up and smearing the whole word of friendships.
So bad.
A while ago I did a podcast on friendships itself, actually, and like the traits that make a strong friendship, and I would touch on respect, trust, communication, boundaries, that kind of stuff. But one thing I never touched on in that one that we're gonna touch on now: visions and goals.
Yes.
Visions and goals.
So important.
You can have the rest to keep a friendship, you know,
Yep.
stable.
Yep.
But if you guys aren't aligned, how the hell are you guys gonna have conversation when you're hanging out together? If one person wants to go be average and just do whatever they want and just go with the flow with their life, but someone's super ambitious and, you know, chasing their dreams and goals, and they want to
Yes.
make an impact to affect thousands, if not
Thousands.
millions of people,
Yeah.
how the hell are they gonna converse about that when one person doesn't even give a rip about it?
Yeah.
Like, am I crazy, or is that just like, what's going on? Like,
I think I can just feel your passion in it too, Brian, because I think, you know, just your platform in general. I think when we became friends, you know, you have creative content, but like knowing you as a person, like you do want to change lives. It's not just for the better. You want people to feel better. You know what I'm saying? And even you shooting, you know, ultimate respect for you. It's like, you know, you do respect women in the fact, you know, when you're posting them, you know, you take your business very seriously, and it's just like you said, the physicality, our
Yeah.
social. I mean, if we go into that, I mean, we're prone to it. You know what I'm saying? If somebody finds somebody attractive, you can't go based off that. But at the
Yeah.
same time, like going into the friendship level, you have to build a friendship first, because then you're going to base it off of their physicality. And let's
Yeah.
be real, over time, physicality fades. You know what I'm saying? So they're not going to look
Not
the
me,
same
not me.
as in the beginning.
I'm Italian. I don't age well. My dad's 75 years old and still looks like he's 50. So I know I'm gonna age well. I'm just
All right,
kidding,
Brian
Mom,
might
but
just be different.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
no,
saying?
just
We'll
a
give him
different
props.
breed. Yeah.
He gets his good looks from Bernie, right?
Bernie and my mom.
Yeah. But
That's crazy though. Like how like aging just in general. Like you just
Well,
they
but that's
fade
so
off.
true though. Like when you think about it, because it's, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like I was in a 5-year relationship, but I didn't base it off of, you know, I really based it off of that person's personality. And a lot of people have told me, not to go in the relationship aspect, but you know, they're like, wow, like I would have never pictured you with that person. But it's like, because I didn't base it off that.
I've literally had people tell me they didn't want to date me because I'm too tall or I'm too skinny or I look like just weird or interesting. That's the most common. I'm not gonna count that as a compliment. The most common feedback I've gotten on the way I look. Oh, you look interesting. How does this look interesting? Like, I don't
I
get
mean,
it.
but no, you're not your typical dude though either. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
I
if I had
know.
to be real with you as a friend, I think you bring a lot to the table that is very different. You have that aura, you have that energy where like people attract to it. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't have that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You're always changing and growing yourself. You know you want to evolve, so
Yeah,
that makes a difference.
exactly. And like, I don't know, just going through the phases of having like a lot of friends, then dropping off, then having more friends, and then dropping off. It's kind of like you're filtering through. You're kind of like sifting
Yeah.
through the sand to see like who's going to be real.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in the business, one of the businesses we're doing, like go wide to find your, you know, your key players,
key-
right?
yeah.
Same thing. Get a lot of friends to find your key players. And I feel like that's like, at first I thought about that concept. I was like, okay, go wide, go get a big group and then narrow it down. But then it's like, you kind of have to do that, you
You
know,
do.
especially
You
like in
do.
what I do in photography, in networking and communication and all of that. I meet 2 to 3 new people every single day
Yeah.
at minimum.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm constantly dealing with like a lot of people like just coming into my life. And 90% of the time, which is well weird, 90% of the time, the friends that stick with me, they're girls.
Yeah.
They're girls.
That's true
Like, I've
though.
got 3 guy friends. That's it. 3 ones, maybe 2 that I can actually count on.
Yeah.
But the rest are like, you know, close girlfriends. Now, I don't have like a lot of those friends. I have like, you know, 6 or 7. I keep my circle
Yeah.
very, very small. But like, what I don't understand is like, this is also a different topic too, but like, should you like, okay, I know people don't really want to judge you off of like who you surround yourself by, or they don't want to like, okay, what about like the types of friends you are as far as like male versus female? Because I get this one a lot where
Yeah, it's
I'm a
that's good
male, I'm a
one. That's a
photographer,
good
and
one.
most of my friends are females, and a lot of the
Yeah.
guys are like, oh, you're hanging around the
Yeah,
hot
the
models, and a lot of
models.
the girls are the opposite. They're like, oh, well, I don't want to be friends with you, or let alone date you, because
You
most
know,
of your friends
the
are girls.
trust.
I don't understand that. I really don't. Like, have you ever had that happen to you? Like, where most of your friends are guy friends, and like, you know, guys don't like that. I know guys don't like that, but like,
Really to go. When I was younger, I'm not gonna lie, like I had a lot of guy friends, but that was just in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? But growing up, I more like hung out with girls. But then I see it the more older that I've gotten, it's kind of to say, it's the maturity. A
yeah,
lot of girls, we say it all the time, it's nothing new. Girls gossip. You know what I'm saying? It's always drama. It's who can get that guy? Oh, but she wants that guy. I want that guy. I want to be the girl that's looked at when I walk right in the room. Do you know what I'm saying? It's the attention's all on me. It's depending on her personality, but at the same time, it's like, you know, we are as women, we're very prone to look a certain way or to feel a certain way. Do you know what I'm saying? We want to be accepted, things like that, but everybody has their type,
they want to date the bad guy. The type
you
is a
know?
myth, by the way. That is a myth. You know what's so funny is people date people not for themselves, but they date people to look good to everybody else.
Yeah.
Which is
Well,
facts. Like, they do. Most people date other people, you know, a specific type, whether it's a fit guy or a fit
yeah.
girl, to look good for somebody else, or to the world, be like, oh, look who I'm dating. You know,
Yeah.
Mr. Hasselhoff over here, or Wonder Woman. Like, I don't get it. Like, why don't you date somebody that you actually genuinely connect with, not just because, oh, he's hot or she's hot or they're famous or they're rich or that, this and that. Like,
Yep.
you know, even one of your friends this past weekend was like, I just want to marry the rich guy. And I'm like, I'm literally about to bitch slap you. Like, I can't. Like, I literally can't.
Well, it's too. I've never been that person. I've actually never been that girl. It's more of I look at our society today. Girls need to become more independent. That's a different topic. But going back into friendships, guy girl, that's a major one. I've had now. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like I have more of the guy friend surroundings, but
Mhm.
it's honestly helped because it's not where I'm being distracted and like most of my girlfriends now, still in party mode, things like that, so I can't relate
Yeah.
going down the same path, and it's not I can't find them. But going back to girls, they want to find the rich guy, and it's like that's so the easy way out. Like
Why?
why can't you do it? That doesn't make you any different than him being a guy and you being a girl, you know?
Like,
What happens when he leaves? What happens when you didn't build that foundation? You get married. Let's even say he passes away. Let's say you even have children. Like, what are you supposed to do?
yeah, literally. Like, what
You
what if
know?
something
What if
what if
he
something
leaves
happens?
you? You don't have. He has that option still, even though you're in a relationship and you get married. I'm not saying nothing's guaranteed.
Nothing's
You
permanent.
vouch,
Everything is temporary.
but yeah, like
Everything is temporary. And unfortunately, friendships or relationships, they're one of those things that are temporary. You don't know when's the last time you could see somebody. You don't
you
know the
don't.
last day that you could have with somebody. I've had it happen to me so many times, and it's guaranteed it's happened to you, where you think
Yeah.
you're going to be friends with this person for a lifetime, and you see them one day, and then you never talk.
You never.
One of the ways that I actually test that is I shut my phone off, and I disconnect from everybody,
Yeah.
and I see who's going to text first.
Yeah.
Not really a game. I know it sounds like a game or
No.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I still
Like
talk to my, the close circles, but like some of these people that like want to like, either start a relationship or start a friendship, and to kind of like see, are they using me for something, or am I,
yeah, it's true.
am I too much on them? I'll back off and I won't even respond. I won't text first. I won't call first. I'll just be like, okay, because people are on their phones nowadays. If they want to
That's what I'm
talk to
saying.
somebody, they're going to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And I keep hearing the excuse like, oh, I'm busy and all this. I'm like, yeah,
No.
sure, fine, okay, cool. Take time for you. But like, people make time for what they want to make time for.
Yeah.
End of discussion. End of discussion. Busy, not a myth.
Yep.
Friendships, or the friend zone, that kind of stuff, not a myth. Or it is a myth. Like, when you're busy, like, unless you're busy like with your hands tied, you have gaps throughout the day to like send a text. It takes 30
Yeah,
seconds.
it takes like 2 seconds. But you said, you know, it made me think of when you're like, you're busy. Okay. Okay, communication's key within anything.
Absolutely.
It's within your job. Any relationship, if you're not communicating, you don't even know what's going on.
But like also one thing that with communication is like a lot of people when they hear that word they're like, oh, that means he or she is going to communicate more with me, as in like their frequency is going to go up.
Yeah.
When I tell people I'm working on my communication, I don't mean I'm going to text you more, I'm going to call you more. I mean I'm going to say my mind with you more. I'm going to make my intentions more clear with you. You know, if I don't like talking to you, if I don't like you in general, if I don't want to be your friend, I'm going to say that, and I'm not going to really care about your feelings because your reaction and your feelings are not my responsibility.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds harsh, and a lot of people probably are going to be like, wow, that's crappy and that's shitty. You don't care about other people's feelings. Like, no. If that person is affecting you in a negative way, you have the right to cut them off and walk away. Why do we have to subside ourselves to people just because we want to make them feel good?
Yeah.
Feelings, like who cares about that type of a feeling? Like if they're doing something that's hurting you or bothering you or just not aligning with you, you have the right to say, hey, this isn't working out. We're just going to stop the process right here and just, you know, like go away.
No, that was good
Like,
though. That was really good, Bryan.
And
Just
that's one
getting that
thing.
in.
That's one thing that I'm doing a lot more with a lot of people. And yeah, they're getting upset.
Yeah.
They're getting so upset.
But it's because why? It was in their control of the timing when they were speaking to you, and now you flip the switch and you're like, well, that's not how I want to be treated.
And watch. The second you stop caring, the second you start working, the second you start rising, watch all the people come flocking right back to you. Even the ones that you wanted to be friends with, that you wanted to date, that don't give a rip about you, that ignore you, watch. Go do you, focus on yourself for 3 to 6 months. I guarantee you, the people that don't want you then or didn't want you then are going to damn well want you now. And guess what? Now the ball's in your court. So that's a sign of fake. Do you really want to put your time and effort into somebody who didn't want you at your worst but now wants you at your best? If you don't want someone at their worst, you definitely do not deserve them at their best. 110% on that one.
That was good.
That's straight facts. So like friendships, same thing. You got to be able to work through the thins, the thicks, the hard times, the good times, and your goals have to align. Otherwise, what are you friends for? You're keeping each other company at that point. You're just a convenient friendship. You're not an actual stable, productive friendship.
Well, too, you can rely on somebody else, you know, for your happiness or love, things like that, when you have to love yourself first to be able to love another person.
Oh, 100%.
So even like friendships, I think it's important when sometimes, you know, people don't get the gist when you're like, you know, maybe this week I don't want to hang out. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I do want time apart. I remember me and you were talking the one time, and, you know, I was like, where did Bryan go? You remember that?
It
And I was
disappeared for like a week. But like
Yeah.
the maturity level that you and I have, you know, not based on age, but just based on experience, the way we were raised, is like, if you dropped off for a day or two, I'd check in, you know, I'd be like,
Oh,
hey, you
yeah.
good? But if you
Yeah.
texted me back saying, hey, I just need some time to myself, I respect that. Go.
Yeah.
I had a friend back to at the old school that I went through a huge, you know, family loss, going through a lot of stuff with guys and drama and just her emotional collapse. And she was like, hey, I'm honestly not in, you know, a stable place to talk right now or anything like that. And this was 2 or 3 weeks ago. I said, hey, I'm praying for you. Do your thing.
Yeah.
You know, let me know if you need anything. I'll be here. Haven't really heard from her. That's fine. That's called balance and respect. But, you know, as far as like, you know, you're not entitled to everybody's free time at all.
Yeah.
So that's where that, you know, comes into play, because everybody needs to recharge. Like, I need to recharge more than anything.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you even doing that, like, I respected it, because a lot of times I've had those friends, you know, and it could go for a couple weeks where I'm like, you know, like, I'm still busy. And it's not, I don't want to make time. It's like, how am I pouring energy into you if I'm not pouring energy into myself?
You can't give what you don't have.
Yes.
You can't give what you don't have. And yeah, I mean, there's just no other way to put it. Like, how are you supposed to give someone attention or, like, you know, affection or advice or whatever if you can't even do that for yourself? And so I'm guilty of that. I try to do that so many times where, like, you know, want to help people as much as I can, but in reality, I'm not even helping myself.
Yeah.
I'll give people the advice that's gold, and then when I really need to take that advice myself,
Yourself, yeah.
I kick my own ass for it every time. But
Look in the mirror first, then you go.
yeah, no, I mean, it's a crazy topic, like with just friendships in general, because I feel like a lot of people confuse it and they don't really know how to like build it at all. But like, I don't know, like I feel like it's just you go through life and you find the people you're meant to be with, you know, like whether it's a friendship or a relationship, and then you also meet certain people in your life that, like, you know, they come in for a lesson, they teach you something, and then they leave.
Yeah.
And yeah, it sucks. It may come as a shocking blow, but you know, I'd rather that person leave my life when they needed to than them take me down a path that I'm not meant to go down.
Yeah,
So
no, that's good.
it's a life is all about a balance on that one.
Well,
So,
you know, and going deeper into the guy and girl friendships, I think a lot of people view it differently.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It causes issues in friendships,
Yeah.
let alone relationships. Because I mean, me and you have gotten a lot, especially in business or just in general. A lot of people are like, "Well, you and Bryan talk so much. Why do you guys talk so much?" It's like, well, it's not like, see, people take it in that context just because we're different sexes. Like, you're male, I'm female. Something's going on. No, sometimes you just really vibe with somebody that well that it's like, I trust you so much, and it doesn't matter what I'm talking about or how I'm feeling at that moment. Maybe I don't feel that connection with somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's friendship level though. That doesn't go beyond that. You know what I'm saying? We respect each other on that, but it's like, you don't find that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Why would I let a bond go like that just because somebody else doesn't feel comfortable with it? You know?
Yeah, exactly. And like, yeah, I've seen that in the business where they're like, oh well, you know, you guys you know, shouldn't have that connection, or it should be strictly business only. Keep business separate from like pleasure, you know,
Yeah.
that type of pleasure.
It's
But like, it's the
maturity.
quote that's in my website. The foundation of a masterpiece the foundation of a masterpiece is made up of a strong connection, strong relationship, and you know, if you mix business together to make a masterpiece, you know,
Yeah.
in that aspect. So the fact that we have a really strong relationship that started out as building a friendship first and kind of started out with business incorporated in it,
Yeah.
brought us together, you know, as
Closer.
far as he brought us, you know, closer and established a almost an unbreakable bond because we have that respect for each other,
Yeah.
because we have that ambition and that drive. We hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
And I feel like that what we have, people are jealous of and people need, but they don't know how to get it because they're around people that can't give it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great, you know, thing what we have going, you know, as far as like our communication daily, keeping each other accountable, and I feel like it's only going to grow stronger.
Yeah.
You know, because of where we're so aligned with our goals, specifically where we want to be in life.
Yeah.
I can kick your ass if you fall behind, and same thing with me. You know, we've done that before. Like,
Yeah. No. Yeah.
you know, so I look up to you, and I'm pretty sure, you know, you look up to me in
Yeah.
some
Oh,
ways
yeah.
too.
We
Like
both.
we
But
have that shared, like, you know, mentorship, you know, back and forth between each other, and
well,
that's
and you
honest. You
carry
can't replace
values
that.
too differently than what I do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even with you, you know, dealing with, you know, you come to me, same thing. I go to you about guys. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But we want the best for each other. So it's like, I know you're not going to steer me in the wrong direction. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. You hold each other accountable, and we just keep each other aligned on the same path. That's why you need to have friendships
Yeah.
that keep you on your same path. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Yeah. Well, I mean, that was a good short talk, but we're gonna keep it relatively short. You know,
Yeah.
under 30 minutes. I think we touched on everything so far, but to everybody like listening and watching, like honestly, you got to find someone that is, you know, going to keep you aligned on your path, that's going to hold you accountable, and more importantly, someone that you can establish a very strong connection with from the get-go.
Yeah.
But you got to make sure that like everything that you hold to a value and a standard has to be in the same page.
Same thing.
Friendships is a huge topic, and probably be going in on it a lot more in some future episodes, but we'll wrap this one down because we have to go to the airport.
Yeah.
I got to catch a flight in about an hour and a half. But remember, you guys can catch these episodes on Instagram and YouTube for the video versions, and Apple and Spotify for the audio versions, The Mind Composition. I have episodes releasing every single Friday, and I will catch you guys on the next episode.
High five, bro.
High five.
Let's go.